Hey guys, welcome back to Walker Guitar Lessons. This is a slow blues that I wrote for everyone who's new to the blues or is just looking to kind of relax and jam on something sort of fun. So basically it's combining a shuffle with some open chords. So I'm just going to jump into it. The first little bit, this part, could very easily be done by scooting one finger up the neck. By the way, you're going to want the documentation for this at walkerguitar.com under the slow blues lesson. That's where you can find it. And feel free to follow along. So what we're going to do is, instead of walking it up with one finger, we're going to take and we're actually going to do what's called playing in position. And what this means is that we're going to be playing all at the second fret. So our hand isn't going to shift. So if the first finger is at the second fret, that means we're playing in the first position. And that's what we're doing. So first finger is at the second fret. And if you were to lay each finger out with its corresponding fret, you would see that the next note we need is with the third finger at the fourth fret. And the final highest note is at the fifth fret with the pinky. So basic blues shuffle. Now if you're new to guitar playing, I recommend you actually play sort of with hugging the heel a little bit. If you have an acoustic, you'll have these bridge pins. If you have an electric, it would be right behind where the strings are held on the saddle. And I recommend kind of just hanging out back here with the heel of your hand just a little bit. It gives you a little bit of stability and a little more control because we only want to strum over two strings for now. So our starter chord, the E5, should look like this, where you're getting an open low string and a second fret on the fifth string. And I just kind of float lightly behind the strings on these little pegs of the guitar until you're comfortable, and then you can start to loosen up down the road. So first little bit, it's going to be 2 hits, and you're going to actually want to shuffle this, and what that means is that you're going to be going, instead of where everything is cut evenly like rock music, we're going to make the second note a little shorter and the first note a little longer. So kind of 1, 2, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and... I'm sure that that's probably pretty familiar for you. It's kind of, to me, it's almost like a heartbeat or something. It's called shuffle. It's where you're just moving along. It's the heart of the blues. So we're going to shuffle it. And so what we're going to play is just 2 strums on that, but with a shuffle, and then we're going to move and extend our third finger up. So the first 2 strums are just going to be with your first finger here. That's it. And then you're going to hold that finger down as you extend your third finger to the 4th fret. So all of a sudden, you're going to start to realize that your hand, how flexible your hand is, if it needs to stretch or not. The goal of this, and the reason I'm recommending playing this way with all your fingers, is to train your hand to stretch out. Because when you go from all the way up, when you're at the highest point, you still have your first finger at 2 and your third finger at 3. And then pinky finally gets up to 5. Anyway, the idea is to keep your hand stretched out and find a universal grip that works for extending across all of these notes. So it goes like this, where you go 2 hits on the first finger at 2 and open E string over all of it, and you're going 2, 4 with the third finger, 5th fret with the pinky. So first, third, pinky, back to third. It's a lot easier to use the pinky and the third finger if you have these supporting fingers still on the string. So that's the heart of the shuffle part. It should sound like that. So 2 times through the pattern, and you shift upwards 1 string, physically down on your guitar, but upwards in pitch, so we refer to it as upwards, onto your A string. And so you should be getting that, and you don't want to hit your low string as you do this. The easiest way for now is to just remember about keeping the heel sort of on the bridge and moving very slightly through the wrist instead of trying to strum it like your open chords. So you're going to do the same shuffle off your open A string. But only 1 time. So 2 times through E. That's once. Twice. Once on we get to our first open chord, B7. So you should know this one. We'll do a quick little refresh here. It's easy with the document as well. Should sound like that. You're not playing the low string. You're doing 2nd fret, 1st fret, 2nd fret, open, 2nd fret. So 5th string 2nd, 1st on the 4th string, 3rd on the 3rd string, open 2nd string, 2nd fret 1st string. And that you're going to open up and strum, and you're just going to strum it lazy style with the same shuffle feeling. Kind of like that. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to go to my favorite chord of this, A7. Actually, there's a more favorite chord, so my second favorite chord. The way I want you to grab A7 is flat 1st finger over the 4th, 3rd, 2nd strings. 3rd finger is going to come over and get the 3rd fret on the high string. So you should be having that with your fingers, and then you're going to use the open 5th string as well. So that's your entire chord. Now, what's comfortable down the line is to do more of a closed grip, where you're coming around this way, and your thumb will actually lean over the low string and kind of mute it out and allow you to strum over everything. So you get a dead string, open A string, 2nd fret, 2nd fret, 2nd fret bar, 3rd fret on the high E string. Same rhythm, so you're doing B7, and I just do a down strum for the final hit to give myself time to move to the next chord. It just makes life a little bit easier, and it actually does sound quite good. So one more time, B7. Little breath space. Open string. And everybody's favorite part. So what that is, open E string, and you're going to form a little shape, which is the 1st and the middle finger, and in this case the 1st finger is at the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, middle finger is at the 4th fret of the 3rd string. Now ideally, when you get comfortable with this shape, you want to make it to where your middle finger is writing the 4th string, the string above it, it's playing the 3rd. You want to make it to where on the 4th string, the very tip of your middle finger is actually blocking that string out to where the 4th string won't ring, and that'll give you a little bit of freedom, a little dead string barrier, if you will, to be able to strum a little bit wider instead of feeling sort of cramped and you're scared of hitting the 4th string. So that's the idea. So you do bass note, grab your chord, open high string as well, and then you just walk it down fret by fret. So it's 3rd fret, 2nd fret, 1st fret, and if you go 1 fret farther, you actually lose the 1st finger because it just hits the nut. 1st or open position. So it's 3, 2, 1, open. All with that low E string for a little background. Now my real favorite chord, B11, where it's a B7 without the pinky. I just thought it sounded cool. Remember to keep the low string dead by the way your middle finger frets the 5th string. So a whole turnaround. Back to the other part. So that is your slow blues riff. You know how to do it. Just take it a piece at a time, very small pieces till your fingers understand it and your ears come to expect it, and then chain it together. It's very predictable, pretty traditional. But it's a lot of fun, so I hope you enjoy it. Feel free to go to Walker Guitar, get involved in the forum, sign up for the newsletter, get some free stickers, and I will talk to you guys soon. So rock and roll.